And hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. For today's podcast episode, we're going to be talking about the many saints of Newark, and this is actually a Sopranos prequel to a TV series. Now, this is something that I really find interesting. Is this is the first time I actually knew of a movie or a network deciding to do, instead of it doing like a sequel to a TV show or anything like that, they're doing a prequel to a TV series, which I find very interesting. If you didn't see my trailer reaction, you guys go on ahead and check that out on the channel itself. But let me just tell you this. I really love the trailer. It definitely has a Sopranos kind of feel to it. It has a Scorsese kind of feel to it. And like Charlie said earlier, too, and everything, it feels grittier. It feels a lot more violent than what the TV show actually is. But I'm going to go on ahead, open the floor up to him, and then after that, I'll go on ahead and do my thoughts on it.
I mean, I think it's perfect that they got James Gandolfini's son to play young Tony Soprano, just, passing the torch and to honor James Gandolfini, because he was awesome in the Soprano show. But yeah, it is just the feel of it, like the whole families, that it just looks. I think the movie might actually be better than the show. Just from the feel of it, to be honest. I mean, I was a fan of the show, but that ending just left me on a really sour note. I'm hoping they actually kind of I know how this is going to end up in that, but I got a better feeling out of this one than I did the show, because I think the show kind of you had it all, and then you had your ending and you blew it. It's like you had a 28-3 lead and you blew it. But no, the feel of it that it looks like it's really gritty. It looks like it's gonna have a lot of intense whacking, which is the part of the show I enjoyed, of somebody getting whacked. But yeah, I mean, I thought the trailer was great. Like I said, I mean, in our earlier another reaction we did for Shang-Chi, this movie looks 10 times better than Shang-Chi, Legend of 10 Rings, and I think this movie could be up for Oscars.
It definitely feels like an Oscar contender, to be honest with you, especially the way things are filmed. And look at the camera angles, though. I definitely love the camera angles to each thing that actually resembles the time period in Tony's life, which makes it feel all that more believable, because we can actually believe that it's taking place in the 1970s and everything. So that's something that I really liked about that. It actually feels like a 1970s kind of style movie and everything too. And I remember when a lot of people were talking crap because of the way that Tony's son looked. I'm like, come on, you're taking things out of context here without any other context behind it. Because it's easy to judge a picture, but it's another thing to see something that we haven't seen before giving an actual opinion of something. But to see the context and everything now, and seeing that play out on the trailer, it works very well. And then having John Bernthal play Dicky Maltesati, which is Christopher Maltesati's father, is just awesome to me. I think that he's going to be doing a really good job of that. And then, of course, you also have Johnny Soprano, played by Ray Loretta, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that. But we get to see Ray Loretta in this universe that David Chase has created for the prequel movie, which I thought was really great. It's been a while since I saw Ray Loretta in anything that's actually gangster related. So it's just good to see him back and embracing this role, this type of genre, because it's, here's the thing. I love Ray Loretta. I like him in just about anything I can spot him in, but I loved him in Goodfellas. And to see him in this kind of movie really fits in for him.
I do want to sorry to correct you, John, but actually it's not the Burfinal that's playing Christopher Massani's dad. It's Alessandro Niviola is Dicky Molisante. He's if you have nobody doesn't know who he is, he was in I believe he played the brother in Face Off, Castor Troy's brother, or yeah, the not brother, cousin, or the one that was dating or had a relationship with the with Nick Castor Troy's sister.
Okay.
The guy Burfinal is playing Johnny Boy Soprano.
Oh,
Soprano.
shit.
So he's the dad. I think he's Tony's dad.
Okay, so that makes it even better to me, playing Johnny Boy, because that is his dad.
Yeah,
that is Tony's father. So I would have been happy either way, to be honest with you. I see him more of a Christopher look, though, to
Yeah.
me, especially when you look at the beak, which is I'm talking about his nose, and you look at John Bernthal. To me, that's actually father and son right there. But for him to play Johnny Boy Soprano, I'm all for it. I think this is actually really good for him to play that. And I also liked how Ray Loretta's like, keep my nephew out of the business, keep him out of there. And also too, then we also get to see like little key things that were mentioned in season 1, dealing with the ice cream truck. Remember, he tells Kuzumato, hey, look, here's the thing. I used to know a couple of people in the mob and everything too. What's the name of this one guy that was in the mob? I can't remember his name, but he said that we stole an ice cream truck and everything, and I went on ahead and let him ring the bell all the way through the town. So that they actually play off of that a little bit, and then also too, we get into the whole entire deal where Tony is basically learning how to hustle, and he starts putting stuff in this speaker, in this the speaker that they want him to sell. So I thought that was really good.
There's a lot going on in this trailer. It's like it's like a very quick trailer, but everything there's a lot going on in it, so it's like hard to pick up what's actually going on because there's a lot of it's like boom 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 trailer's over. So it definitely feels like there's a lot of stuff from The Sopranos in it, but it's hard to figure out like what's happened because everything's happening so quick. But
that is true.
I did like the ending though when they put the theme song at the end of the trailer. I thought that was a nice touch for it.
Same here. I thought it was a very nice touch, to be honest with you, because I was like, okay, when most TV shows or movies or whatever, if it's a prequel, they might steer clear of doing the theme song to it and everything, since it's actually a prequel. But instead, they winded up putting it in at the very end, and I thought that was a very little subtle touch to it to let you know this is a Sopranos universe. This is a Sopranos prequel show. Also, too, we see a very young Uncle June in this movie in his prime, which is the old man, which is Junior Soprano. I really like the fact that I got to see him in there, and then also too Stacciali's, which is also the butcher shop. So we actually get to see how they're actually operating stuff back in the day. Yeah, in the 1970s compared to where it was when Tony was running it. So as a front, so I'm excited about that. But the thing that I wanted to mention is this. I remember whenever I told you about the ice cream truck, about that. Kuzumato is actually the person that Tony was talking to about John Gotti, because Kuz asked him, he said, did you know John Gotti? He goes, yeah, I know John. A matter of fact, we stole an ice cream truck, and I made him ring the bell in the neighborhood. So that was actually the gangster name that I was trying to think of earlier, and it just came to me. But yeah, it was John Gotti is basically what Tony is saying, and he was telling that story.
Nice. But no, I mean, I thought it was an entertaining trailer. I mean, it did what it needed to. It got you hooked, especially if you know you're a Soprano fan, you're gonna want to watch this. And it's not just for the Sopranos fan. Anybody like gangster movies, like you don't necessarily have to watch the Sopranos to understand what's going on in this movie because it's a prequel. And so it's giving you multiple avenues, and it's also going to be like one of those ones that's going to be released in theaters and on HBO Max. I don't know. I mean, I'm interested how this will do in the theaters because that's the question. I'm hoping it does decent, but since it's got that on HBO Max too, that might kind of hit into its numbers a little bit, to be honest.
Right, because here's the thing. We've seen how they run whenever you got the movie Entourage when it came out in theaters, and it didn't do well at the theaters. And I went out and supported it. As a matter of fact, it crashed and burned in the theaters.
And that came out in May too. I think the problem was it came out in May. This one's kind of like, I mean, the timing of it is not great. I'm just gonna say because this comes out October 1st. It's got a week to do something, and then it's gonna get blown out of the water, unfortunately, because No Time to Die comes out the following week. Right. And I'm sorry, anything going up against the 007 movie, because of all the hype for that one, I wouldn't recommend like releasing anything within either a week before No Time to Die and a week after, because like I said, that movie's got so much hype for it. People are going to want to go see that. And I think the only benefit for this is it's got that HBO Max like on HBO Max and in theaters. I think more people are going to watch this on HBO Max than they do in the theaters. But I just know the timing is just not great for it, just in terms of the optics. But
no, but here's the thing: in order for a movie to be nominated for an Oscar, it has to be shown in theaters. Mm-hmm. So my thing is this: I'm thinking that this is just to get the Oscar nomination.
Yeah.
To say, hey, look, we got a movie that's part of HBO that's also a prequel to The Sopranos, which was a hit TV series back in the 90s and everything. So we're going to try and capitalize on that by putting it in theaters. We may not make that much money, but we're still going to put it in theaters anyways because we can get that Oscar nomination under our belts and everything too. And also another thing though too is I think that the Sopranos fan, if they actually do go out and support this film, they would probably want to watch. They're probably watching it within the first week, and yes, it might not even make #1 at the box office. Yeah. But after that, you're going to see it decrease because that hype is dead.
Yeah.
And then it makes room for 007 to come in.
Yeah. Again, I don't know. I mean, I'm not rooting for this to fail at all. I'm just thinking of the optics because a lot of people have been waiting for the. I mean, I'm not the only one that's been super hyped for the new James Bond movie. I've been hyped for it since April of last year. Because that was supposed to be or even before then, because Craig's last outing, there's so much hype for it, and it's coming out in October, like the second week in October. Nothing else is out around that time, so that's why I don't like the optics for this because it's coming out right before. It's like you don't want to release stuff like when The Dark Knight came out. You don't want to release stuff a week before is okay, but just know it's gonna kill you the next week. Like so, right. I think Bond's gonna be at least an $80-90 million opening weekend, to be honest, depending if pandemic is calmed down. We don't know in the fall. But I just think the optics for it, like that, that's why I like that it's on HBO Max as well. So again, I don't even know how they determine the numbers if it's a success or not, if it's streaming, because there's been a lot of times it's kind of hurt it in the terms of the theaters when they release something just straight on theaters and HBO Max, like that's why Fast 9 did so well at the box office because it wasn't harpened by the same day streaming.
Right. But I feel like this. I'm not saying that you're trying to celebrate. I'm not. I know. But here's the thing that I'm thinking though. I mean, I'm just thinking outside the box a little bit, just to get the Oscars underneath their belt. They're just gonna go in and put it out there. But also too, I'm a Sopranos fan. We all saw The Sopranos on TV. It would be kind of different to watch this in a theater versus on a TV.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Those shots that are on camera that we saw in the trailer, it would actually hard to be visual for us to visualize some of those shots on a smaller screen compared to the big screen. So I wouldn't be surprised if they actually support it on both ends. But still, not a big window when you think about it, when you have James Bond coming in.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying the first week, it's going to do well. That second week, it's going to drop dramatically.
Yeah.
And everything. That's what I'm getting at. Is the fact I know that it's going to drop no matter what it is. This, even though there's huge Soprano fans and everything that will support this film and will go out to the theaters and support it. It doesn't matter how many Sopranos fans you have. You have 10 times the number of what James Bond fans versus Sopranos fans. And that number is going to drop. And that's me coming from a Sopranos fan. Do I want this movie to do well at the box office for more than a week?
I do too, yeah.
But the reality and the rationalization over it, it's going to wind up dropping probably 60 to 50, maybe 60 to 50% from the first week. And then that's because Bond drop comes in and goes all over the many Kings of New York, many Saints of Newark. So that's just my perspective on it.
I mean,
But
it doesn't have much competition though. Just looking at what's coming out, like they got two kid movies. You got Hotel Transylvania, Transformia, which doesn't even have Adam Sandler. He's not even in this one. It's a sequel. And then you got the Addams Family 2, another animated movie.
yeah, the animated movie for that wasn't even that great, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so
I guess
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
if I had to pick between which one would actually beat The Sopranos, and even though Adam Sandler's not playing in Hotel Transylvania, I'm gonna have to go with Adam's Family. Would probably the one that would beat out the many Saints of Newark. To be honest with you, if anything, but like I said, I could still see this movie dropping dramatically once we have 007, No Time to Die.
Yeah, and then the following week after No Time to Die is Halloween Kills.
Right. And we already know that's going to be a box office smash, no matter what.
Yeah, it's like right before Halloween. It's like if not, it's close to it. But I mean that, and then there's a Matt Damon, Ben Affleck movie too, released on the 15th. So it's there's stuff out there in October. It's just not that weekend, so it's got to do really well that weekend. I'm pretty sure if it got great reviews, that seems like an Oscar worthy movie. And I could see them, being the Oscars being like, oh, we gotta make up because we weren't given the opportunity to give James Gandolfini any Oscars because, well, his show is a TV show and we don't do TV shows. I think if there's any chance of it, like I said, if it does well and it gets great reviews, I could see that being a potential Oscar movie. But I don't know. I mean, apparently the Oscars don't even know what they're doing anyway. So, but
no.
And it comes out in October, so it's a good time frame to get into that buzz. So we'll see. But then again, that's just it's make or break that weekend if it's going to do well at the box office.
Agreed. But I still say that it's going to drop 60 to 50% on that next weekend when a Bond comes out. That's no joke right there.
No. I'm not rooting for this to fail at all. I want it to succeed.
Me too.
Like you said, realistically, it's not good optics.
Exactly.
September, then we're talking.
But anyways, I think that was everything I wanted to cover within the trailer and everything. I definitely like the trailer. I like the wide angle shots. I really do feel like this is actually in New Jersey. And also, too, I like the Stacciali's butcher shop being back in it again. Uncle Junior in his prime. John Bernthal as Johnny Boy Soprano. Everything about this screams Sopranos for me. And if it screams Sopranos, I'm all in. So that is my thoughts on what I think about this new trailer. I think it looks fantastic. I like the ending of the trailer with the music. But what's your final thoughts on it?
I'm excited. Like I said, I want to see how I want to see what the prequel to this, how it works out, and I think it's got everything going for it. You got James Gandolfini's son playing young Tony Soprano, and I think he's going to nail the part. I mean, just from the trailer alone, I like the casting they have for this. I'm interested that Vera Farmiga plays his mom. She's very hit or miss for me. So, because she's always known for playing the Conjuring movies, she's always that. So it'll be interesting to see her play a gangster mom in a sense, or like
yeah, her playing Livia is definitely going to be different. I'm going to tell you that.
Yeah.
The closest that I can actually come to as far as a gangster type mom, or maybe a mom on the edge in a sense, is when she was in Bates Motel.
Yeah. So I don't know how impactful she will be in this movie. She just might be there, and this might be the fathers and the guys taking over. Again, I don't know how this is gonna go, but I'm intrigued. But I love the other castings, like John Bernthal. I think he's gonna be great. I'm interested to learn more about these characters.
Same.
And bad taste out of my mouth from the finale.
I understand. A lot of people didn't like that finale and everything else too, to be honest with you. I was in that category as well.
Mm-hmm.
But then I found out too recently, David Chase just wanted you to be able to make your own ending rather than to him give us our own closure.
I like more of the justice and the more of the fine print, like boom, 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 end point, story's over. I don't like it. So very rarely do I like the choose your own adventure stuff because if you had me like invest in all these characters and then leave it up and then have the ending that way and leave it up to me, I'm like, no, come on. We've invested so much in these characters and yet you're gonna do that. Like, I mean, it's kind of a not a great move, to be honest, for me, because I like justice, I like closure. I don't like this open-ended stuff, especially on a series finale. I think that's like the worst way to go.
Right. I totally agree with you on that and everything too. But yeah, here's the thing too. I like to know. I think we're going to dive into more of the stuff that Tony talks about Melfi with some of the stuff that he did in his childhood and things like that, and dive more into that. So I'm even more excited about that. So, is there anything else that you want to mention?
No, I think that was about it.
All right, so that's going to do it for the show. I know this is kind of short and everything, but I figured this is a good way to get all our points across because we didn't, before and everything, Charlie wasn't able to join me or anything like that. So I wanted him to be able to get his points across. And then also, too, I didn't really feel like I did myself justice inside the trailer reaction itself to be able to get my points across. So I figured this would be a great way to do a little short trailer review of the many Saints of Newark. Tell me what you guys think about the many Saints of Newark and everything in the comments below. Did you like The Sopranos? What didn't you like about The Sopranos? Tell me below. Go on ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Another thing, too, go on ahead, follow me at Movie Lovers TV Lovers Unite on Facebook, underneath the same name on Instagram and on Pinterest. If you want to donate to the show, just go to GoFundMe.com/Movie Lovers Podcast. And then, of course, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific Time, we are doing our Loki after show. So make sure that you guys go on ahead and stay tuned for that. And then after that, you guys can go on ahead and follow me over at Movie Lovers Unit on Twitter. And then underneath the same name on Stereo, we do a couple of shows here on Movie Lovers Unite on Stereo at Movie Lovers Unit. And then, of course, if you're a sponsor and you would like to go ahead and sponsor us, just go on ahead and email me at movieloversunite@gmail.com. And those are all the places that you can reach me at. Always until next time, thank you again, Charlie, for joining me as always. And until next time, bye-bye.